how's it going, everyone? My name is Earlmeister, and today we are going to be covering the very first set for the pack tournament in Pixelborn, and also the very last one in Pixelborn, since, as you all know, Pixelborn is closing. But that's the story for another day. Let's go ahead and break down this meta. All right, here's the top eight decks for the pack. We're not going to cover the top 16. If you guys want to see the top 16, there it is. But we only usually cover the top 8 on this series. We're going to start with the top 8. Emerald Steel, Bucky discard from Emmanuel. Mignon. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Or Mingione. No, I'm pretty sure it's Mignon. But anyways, here it is. We got 4 1-cost Diablo, Robin Hoods, Bucky, of course, Ursula. This is basically what most of these decks look like, and you know, it's been a trend. This is one of the most annoying decks to face against, but it's pretty good, right? It's pretty good. Is it the best deck out there? I'm not sure if we can call it the best deck, but it's definitely super annoying to face with. And this version is basically just like most version out there, except for there's an Ultra Megatonic tech that he has, that Emmanuel has, and that's the Hidden Cove. I've seen a lot of people actually have been running Hidden Cove, and that's because the Bucky can survive Tinkerbell, and also Diablo can survive Grab Your Swords. It's just a really nice card. I've always thought that when I did draft before that this is a pretty neat card, and now it's actually seeing some plays. This version also is running 2 Smash and 2 Babooms, and everything else is pretty much the same as most things. I noticed though that it's not running any what is that 5-cost song? You Don't Talk About Bruno. Well, I didn't want to talk about it. That's why I forgot the name. But anyways, for the most part, it's basically what most lists out there looks like. One thing that we need to point out about this list as well, it's not running any Pegasus. Instead, it's running the Tinkerbells, which is really good for the mirrors, in my opinion. I played this deck myself to understand how it works. It's good to understand how these type of deck works, and that's exactly the move that I did. I got off of Pegasus, and instead I ran some Tinkerbells in the deck. I also noticed that it's not running any Grab Your Swords for the mirrors. Maybe Tinkerbell's enough. Who knows? But props to Emmanuel getting to top 8. Congratulations. All right, the next one here is the Ruby Sapphire Sisu on Ice deck by June. Let's see what June is running. We got Develop Your Brain, Brawl, 3 Ice Blocks, 4 Popsicles, Fishbone Quill, 2 Lucky Dimes, of course, 1 Jump Ahead, How Far I'll Go. This has been a pretty much a staple card for these decks now. It's a pretty good card in my opinion. Especially for ramp decks like this. It's running 3 Be Prepareds now. People are cutting Be Prepareds because it's Sisu meta now. So you have 3 Sisus that can pretty much clear the whole board, especially with the help of Ice Block. And it's running 2 Sisus, the 3-cost one, Emboldened Warrior. This card is pretty good. I like this a lot. Grammatala, of course, and Flavershims for some draws and filters to find the right cards that you're running. I did notice though that this list is only running three copies of Maui instead of 4. I'm not really sure. I'm not a blue-red player, but I've always felt like there's always 4 Mauis, but I could be wrong. It's running 2 Lady Tremaines and 2 Madame Medusas as well, and it finishes it with 4 Tamatoas and 4 Maleficents. This is usually what you would see in most lists that looks like this. It's sometimes you see 1 less Sisu, sometimes you see 1 more Sisu, right? Sometimes you also see more Mauis or more Be Prepareds. It really depends on the player, what's their preference. But for the most part, This is exactly what a regular Sisu on ice would look like. Anyways, congratulations, June. Let's go to the next one. Here's another deck for you guys as well. Another Sisu on ice. It made it to top 8 by Zachary Weaver. Let's go check out his version. So we still got the 4 Develop Your Brain, 4 Brawl. This version is running 4 ice blocks instead of 3. 1 jump ahead. How far I'll go. And this one it's running Scuttles. There's no baby Sisus on this. It's running big Sisus. I think that the Shift Sisu is pretty good, but I don't think it's a must, you know? You can still play Sisu without the baby Sisu because it's a ramp deck. It's allowed to play high cost creatures or characters in the deck, or high cost cards in general, because all you do in the beginning is ramp, and then you try to wipe the board later on. I also noticed that this version is running 4 Sisus with no shiftable targets, right? And it's also not running Be Prepared. So that's pretty interesting. I'm not sure if 4 Sisus is enough to deal with the board, but you know, with the help of 4 ice block instead of 3 ice blocks, it might be enough. Who knows? And it's also running 4 Medusas. This deck is not running any what do you call this? Any Tremaines at all. I feel like this would be really tough to face against mirrors, but you have Maleficent, right? You have Maleficent to still take care of the Tamatoas, and the Sisus, or anything that you need to target. But usually Tremaines is a pretty nice thing to have. But hey, who am I to talk? Zachary Weaver got this deck to top 8. So congratulations. There's many different versions of this, like what I said. You know, you get 2 of these, you get 2 of that, and then the techs, sometimes they would tech with this card or tech with that card. At the end of the day, they all pretty much play the same. And yeah, congratulations again, Zachary. All right, the last one in the top 8 is a Steel Sapphire Cogsworth and Friends by Domenico De Santis. Or DeSantis. All right, here we go. We got 2 Fire Cannons, 1 Baboom, which is very surprising. I usually see people run 4 Babooms nowadays, or at least 2 or 3, but maybe the combination of all of this kind of equalize to that. And the reason why is green steel is just super annoying, right? And you want to deal with Diablo right off the bat. It's also running 4 the Sphere, Popsicles, 3 Fishbone Quills instead of 4. Great Stone Dragon, I think that's why it's running 3 Fishbone Quills, because it's also running Great Stone Dragon, which is a pretty neat card. And then you have 2 Lucky Dimes. For the characters, we got 4 Smees, 3 Grammatalas, 4 Flavershims, 3 Hard-Headed Beast, which is really good against Red, Blue, and against Mirrors, in my opinion. And you have 3 Beasts, 4 Cogsworth, 4 Tinkerbells, 2 Hades. This is something that we don't usually see that much anymore, but these type of techs are pretty good in my opinion, because it catches people off guard, right? It catches people off guard, and I think that's very important. Element of surprise. Is it the best card out there? I don't think it's the best card out there, but the element of surprise can catch someone off guard with these type of techs. Tamatoa so shiny, and we got 4 of them. 4-1 Jump Ahead, 2 and then Along Came Zeus, 3 Grab Your Swords, and 3 McDuck Manor. I can't really say that this is how every single blue steel looks like, because the thing about blue steel, unlike Sisu on ice, unlike blue-red pop controls, there's so much cards that you can tech in and tech out, and there's so much different versions. This one obviously is an item, a heavy item version, right? Some decks are still running the wheel version, and again, I just want to say, Domenico, congratulations with this. I wouldn't say this is what a regular blue steel would look like, because, like, again, there's so many different cards, different techs, different version of this deck. And yeah, congratulations, Domenico. All right, moving on to the top 4 decks. The first on the top four, we got or the top four, we got Sisu on ice again with by Christian Pascua. All right, let's look at this. So with the actions again, it's looking like most decks out there. This is the tech that I think that we should talk about is Vital Sphere. It's a pretty neat card. It has if you vanish it, your character gains rush and +2 discern. And also this deck is only running 1 ice block instead of 2, 3, or 4. Everything else looks the same. Also, this deck is running Flynn Rider Frenemy, which is pretty surprising. It's not something that you see that much on these type of decks, because this is a pretty proactive, aggressive card, right? Most of the time in the beginning, this will probably see inking, but hey, towards the end, once the Maleficents and the Tamatoas are out, this could be a very, very neat card that can help you finish the game. It's also running 2 Scuttles, running 1 Sisu during visitors. I see a lot of Sisu on ice players have cut this, but 1 might not be bad. But the thing is though is that I'm thinking it's usually you would have more ice blocks when you're running this. But hey, who am I to speak? He got to top 4 with this deck, so it must be working for him. And it's running 2 bells still. Grammatala, Flower Shims, 4 Mauis, 3 Madame Medusas, only 2 Sisus, Empowered Sibling, 4 Tamatoas, 4 Maleficents, 3 1 Jump Aheads, 2 How Far I'll Go, and 3 Be Prepared. We can see that from all the decks that we've seen so far that Sisu on ice, most of the time they would have 1 Jump Aheads and 4 How Far I'll Go. And they would have which you call this 4 Fisherman Quill, which this deck has. But because this is running Bell as well, I think it's allowed to cut some of these off. But yeah, everything else looks pretty good. One thing to point out on this deck is it's running 1 Ice Block, 1 Sisu Daring Visitor, and 1 Vital Spear. Other than that, everything else looks pretty much the same. It's like what I said, it's just the numbers of how many of this card and how many of that card you run. This one is running 2 Sisus and 3 Be Prepared. So it's a matter of preference. Again, congratulations, Christian Pascua or Pascua. Well played. Well played. Anyways, let's move on to the top 3. The top 3 player, Lazaro Belido. Sisu on ice. This is the last Sisu on ice that we're gonna see. There's 4 of them in this top 8. Let's go ahead and check out this Ruby Sapphire. So we can notice right away that this one is only running 3 developer brains instead of 4, which is something that we don't usually see. A lot of players are running 4 of these. This one is running 3 Ice Block, 4 Popsicles for its item, 3 Fishbone Quills, and 2 Lucky Dimes. Something that we usually would see, like what I said. 4-1 Jump Ahead and 3 How Far I'll Go with 2 Be Prepareds. And also, this one is only running 2 Be Prepareds and 2 Sisu. So in total, they only have 4 board clears, which is something that we didn't see with the other ones that we track. Judy Hopps. Oh, there's only one. Usually we don't see Judy Hopps getting played anymore, but I think it still can be good because the Judy Hopps can still snipe the opponent's Lucky Dime, which is a big deal because this is their ultra megatonic finisher right here, Lucky Dime. And with the help of Judy Hopps, you can wreck those Lucky Dimes, and worst comes to worst, you can wreck one of your items and still get a draw to filter your deck with Judy Hopps. It's also running 2 Sisu Emboldened Warrior like we've seen on the other decks, and I think this is one of the surprising techs over here. It's the Moana Underrated Voyager, which can be really good against decks like Green Steel because they have a lot of evasives. It can wreck number 1. It can wreck Diablo. It can also wreck Pegasus, and there's a lot of other targets like Pascal on other matchups. And it's just a very thick evasive character for 4 costs, right? It's a 3/4 evasive character, and it just completely bullies all these birds that are flying and trying to get free draws from your draws. And it's also running 4 Maui Hero to only 1 Lady Tremaine and 3 Medusas. This is like a matter of preference for most people. You either run 2, 1, 3, or you even run like 4 of these and then not run Lady Tremaine and run Beaking Undisputed as well. Or instead, is what I meant. And then for the finisher, it's the same as everything else. I think the most interesting tech for me here, like what I said, is the Moana. Having 1 Judy Hopps, it's something that we've seen before, but having Moana here and making it to top 3 with this deck, that's pretty impressive. I like that a lot. This is something that most people should probably try to consider running in their decks because it kills the Diablo. It just shuts it down. Anyways, congratulations, Lazaro Belido. Well played. All right, going on to top 2 over here. The top 2 deck, I am a red-purple player, so I'm very happy to see red-purple make it to top 2. A lot of people has felt that red-purple was slowly but surely like falling behind. I don't think it's falling behind. I think we just got to take our time to figure it out, and it's getting there. I did pretty well in this tournament. I participated on the tournament as well. I was top 33. I scored 414. I messed up the last game, right? And instead of going instead of getting to top 16, I messed up the last game and I went 414 instead. If I won my last game, I was 1 lore short. I misplayed earlier on some of the turns, but this is not about me. This is not about me. I'm just saying, could be me that's over here right now that we're checking, but it's not. But I'm happy that a fellow Ruby Amethyst player got here. So let's go ahead and check out Adrian Krifa's deck. So we got 4 Chernabogs, which is something that I'm putting in my deck as well. I started retesting after the tournament, and 4 Chernabogs, it feels really good. And then it has 2 mini Olaf. It fully cut the Rafiki on this deck, and it's running 4 Flynn Riders, which is one of my new favorite cards. This card is really good. This card requires an answer right away, and if you don't have it, you're gonna get bullied with the lore. They're gonna take advantage of gaining lore with this. And then you have the Mim Fat package, of course. The crab has been cut down to 2, which is very, very understandable, and it has 4 Sisu Emboldened Warrior, which is the combo with the Flynn. So it doesn't really matter what you play on the turn 1. I guess it depends on what your matchup is. And then you play Flynn Rider and you go into Sisu Emboldened Warrior. And this basically outstrengths most cards out there, right? And it guarantees you that 3 free lore when you start your turn. And this is a tech, and this is something that I've been thinking about how I can squish this card in. I think this card is pretty good because this is basically what's his name or her name, Maleficent, which is something that they fully cut, by the way, is a Maleficent. This is basically Maleficent that can quest for 2 with a better body. Right? It's a 3/3 body that can quest for 2, and the only catch with this is the draw can only happen if you have an opponent that has an exerted card in play or exerted character in play. The items doesn't count, so it needs to be a character. This is something that like what I said, that I've considered putting in my deck. I gotta find a way how to squish this in because I think this card is pretty solid. And it also has cut all the Tremaines. It's running 4 Medusas. We have the Merlin package and the Maui there, of course. 4 Brawls. I think it's a must nowadays. And then it has 4 Friends on the other side. 3 Beaking Undisputed. So it's running 3 Beaking Undisputed instead of whatchamacallit, instead of running Tremaines. Which is pretty interesting, and I can see it as well. This deck really just screams a more aggressive, proactive way of playing this deck. It's still a control deck. But it's super, super fast and proactive now. And it's only running 2 copies of Be Prepared, which is something I understand, right? The only thing that I would be scared of with the 2 Be Prepared is against whatchamacallit this, again against green steel, because green steel can be very scary once they have filled the board, right? But then again, most of the time they will just snipe you or be prepared. But it worked out for him. He got to top 2. Well, unfortunately, he lost to green steel, which is what I'm talking about. But anyways, it only has 2 be prepared and 4 Queen's Castle. I think the locations right now is really, really good for the meta, or really, really good in this meta. In my opinion, people have cut the crabs, right? People have cut the crabs, and most of the time, there's so many openings against green steel where you can play the Queen's Castle, and it just gains so much value for you. Anyways, congratulations, Adrian Krifa. Again, this is a pretty ultra megatonic version of Ruby Amethyst. This is something that I might explore myself. I like this fast version, and I'm glad that it worked out for you at the end and got top 2 with it. Congratulations, firm handshakes. All right, last but not least is Emerald Steel by Jordan Bashi. This is a Bucky discard. I'm not calling this Bucky, discard aggro, but I know I give this deck a lot of crap. But Jordan Bashi, it takes a lot of skills. It doesn't matter how annoying the deck to get to number 1. Okay, so Jordan, congratulations on getting to number 1 with this. So this version is running the Pegasus version for 1-drops and 5-drops as well. It's running 4 Diablos, 4 Robin Hoods, Bucky, Ursula, 3 Aladdins, which is usually what we would see on these type of decks. Diablos, 3 Jafars, 4 Beast, 4 Pegasus, 4 Robin Hoods, and 3 Tinkerbells. It's also running 2 Hidden Coves, which is something that we saw before earlier. The other version is running 3. This one is running 2. We have 4 Let the Storm Rage On, 4 Strength of the Raging Fire. Of course, these are ultra megatonic songs that Ursula. Wait, actually, this version is not running the 3-cost Ursula. All right. I still think that these cards are still pretty good. Grab Your Swords is also an ultra megatonic card, especially for the mirrors. It's a great way to clear the opponent's board, and this version is running 3. We don't talk about Bruno. There's not much that I can say with this. I think at this point, all of us are familiar with this deck now, right? A lot of us are complaining about it, including me. I complain about it as well. But let's not focus on that. Let's focus on this version. I think most version is running the Ursula Deceiver of All. This version doesn't have any Ursula Deceiver of All. I think that's a pretty important thing to notice with this deck, because most of the time when you play Bucky, you don't really want to play an Ursula Deceiver of All. You just wanna play an Aladdin, or preferably a Diablo after you play that, right? I also wanna mention that because it's not running Ursula Deceiver of All, this deck has 3, 7, 10, 14, 18, 22, 25. Instead of 20, it has 25 Floodborn cards that make sure if you get to play Bucky, you're 100% gonna be discarding and discarding and discarding your opponent's hand. Other than that, there's not much really for me to talk about this deck. I already mentioned this earlier. Hidden Cove is one of the decks that they run. Again, if you missed that, it's for Bucky getting out of Tinkerbell's range, and it's also for Diablo getting out of Grab Your Sword's range. Anyways, guys, thank you very much for checking this out. Jordan Bashi, congratulations on being number 1 on this tournament. All right, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed and learned something with this Meister meta breakdown for the pack. It's the very first set for the pack, but unfortunately, it's the last one on Pixelborn, because again, Pixelborn is shutting down. I just want to say thank you very much to Thea and her team for running these tournaments. This has been really helpful for a lot of people to practice for bigger tournaments and to even be able to participate in tournaments in general, because some people can't afford to travel, right? It's too far, it's too much money, it's too much effort, right? And also, I wanted to mention that other people don't have access to the cards in other countries. It would be super ultra megatonic expensive for them to get the cards, and this has allowed them to be part of the community. Now you can have your own opinion with that, but I think it's pretty cool that they got to participate on these tournaments. Again, thank you, Thea, for doing that. And other than that, don't forget to smash that like, subscribe, and bell button. Don't forget to comment as well down below. I'm sorry I'm a little rusty. There might be a lot of ums on this video, but this is literally the very first video that I'm bringing to you guys again, because I am finally back from being a dad. I just had a baby. Again, thank you very much, everyone, for your support. I appreciate it a lot, and I hope you guys are excited, because there's a lot of ultra megatonic content that's coming up next for this channel. Guides, box openings, podcast stuff, gameplay stuff, a lot of different things that I have planned, and I've been planning ever since I got out. It's been almost 2 months since we stopped making a lot of content, but hey, we're back again. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.